Dating our breaking news out of Melbourne.
Melbourne, the epicentre of bullshit.
Where there's been an emotional reunion between a mother and her 7-year-old boy.
Okay, with all the things going on around the world that might be newsworthy, this one's the first story out of the blocks. An emotional story about a mum running to her son,
Who'd been missing since last night. And it was our reporter, Melanie Slade, who spotted the boy in Glenroy a short time ago.
This story is just so full of bullshit. I reckon probably 10% of it is probably true. The rest of it has been scripted and made up garbage with lies and innuendo. And the innuendos he's made there is that Mel was the one to spot him. Now, she may have spotted him, but what, was she the first to spot him? Was he saved because she spotted him? Because that's the impression he's given. Well, you don't really determine it, but look, that's the first of the deceptions about what this psyop is, okay?
Mel, and this was an extraordinary moment. Take us through it.
Yes, it certainly was an extraordinary moment. 7-year-old Xavier Jones could be in a little bit of trouble, but he is now back with his family, safe and well. He went missing from the suburban street in Glenroy last night, and a major search operation, including the police air wing, was launched.
It's important to point out at this stage that this was once again in Melbourne, and that's because the Melbourne police, they lie all the time and don't mind being involved in lies. And I'm pretty sure that was a lie that she just told there, that the air wing and the police were throwing all resources trying to look for this boy. I'll explain later in a little while.
And there were particular concerns for his health. Young Xavier has just undergone surgery on his neck.
All right, so they mentioned there that he's had surgery on his neck, which just sounds so serious for a missing boy, but that's just there to add drama because he's walking around, he's perfectly fine. He's got a bandage on his neck. But whether he actually had surgery at a hospital and whether it was major or minor, they don't mention. They just wanted to slip in that he had surgery. So this is just to up the emotional impact of this bullshit story.
But this morning, just before 8 o'clock, after I completed a lap around the golf course in my car, I pulled up, looked over the road. There was a woman who just got out of a car, and in front of her was 7-year-old Xavier.
They carefully write the script so that the person reading it talks really quickly, and they have an overall impression that they want you to have, which is that she's, stumbled upon this kid, but they say it so quickly because it's full of bullshit, and if you break it down, you can kind of point out the bullshit. So the first bit of bullshit is that she was driving around in her car. Okay, well, she's got a camera crew there. Unless she's got a selfie stick, I'm pretty sure there's more people than just her. I'd say it's a full camera crew. So she's failed to mention them. That's the first part of the bullshit. Another element of the bullshit here is why she stopped. She doesn't say, I saw Xavier, then I stopped. She doesn't give a reason why. She doesn't say, I stopped for coffee, or I stopped to check my phone. She just says, I stopped and looked up and saw him talking to a woman. That's because the story, they want to start it from here. Because when you find out where he was, there's probably a lot of questions in between where he was and where he got to here, but they don't want to answer any of those questions. That's because they're applying the less is more principle. They're just trying to package it up without exposing it as the bullshit that it is, without giving too much information that people can then pick it apart. Now, that also goes with this woman here. Now, she said that she saw a woman talking to Xavier when she got out of the car. That actually changes in the next story of the bulletin, and I'll get to that in a minute. Now, they don't say whether this was the woman that was talking to him when she pulled up, but they imply that she is. But they never actually talk to this woman. They don't say this is the woman, here is her name. And she shows most of her face, but she has that scarf just around her chin line, I think trying to just obscure anyone trying to identify her. You could probably see who she was if you knew who she was, but if you went looking for her, you probably couldn't. But she keeps that scarf there the whole time. She even moves it around. So, again, that is the less is more, because you would think that they would interview the woman, talk to the woman who found him first. She's a hero, but they don't ever talk to the woman who found him first. And remember at the start when the guy said he implied that Mel saw him first. Now they've introduced a woman. So they've muddied the waters here like they always do with double speak and make it hard for you to try and nail it down. But look, that's another element that shows it as bullshit. She's just stopped randomly, looked up, and there he is. I reckon she did a lap of the golf course. Oh, that'd be probably 5-6 kilometres. So she stopped right where, within 5 metres, and over 6 kilometre, she could have stopped anywhere, but she stopped right there. So even that laws of probability would go against, would show that this is bullshit as well.
A called police walked over to him, checked that he was okay, and he told me that last night...
Now, this woman that's on camera here, she's very, very interesting because she's physically touching him there, so she's kind of reassuring, and later on she appears in a group hug with the mum. If she was the woman and didn't want to be on camera at all, and didn't want to do any interviews, then wouldn't she just step to the side and then go up to him when the camera's not on? But she's going up there while the camera's on, and she ends up being in a group hug a bit later on. So I'll get to this woman a bit later on and have a bit more theories about her. But
he slept at a friend's house. He was completely oblivious to all the fuss overnight.
She kind of just breezed over that pretty quickly. Oh, he's just at a friend's house. Oh, hang on. Whoa. There's quite a few questions there. Who were the friends? How good of friends were they? Obviously, he's walked over there. And how was it that he ended up staying there the night? Because sleepovers with 7-year-olds, they're highly organised. I've done it, highly organised affairs. A lot of planning, a lot of, pyjamas and having dinner and all that sort of stuff has to be organised. And so presumably he's just gone there and, okay, try and picture what they seem to think has occurred without mentioning it. So he's gone there to a friend's place. He stayed there. Okay, it's getting a bit late at night. When was the decision made that he was going to stay there? Who made the decision? Did he say it was okay? Through all of that, at one point, you would have thought they knew who he was. They would know his mum. They could walk to it. He could walk there. They could walk to his place or whatever just to tee it up. Do you think at one point these friends would have touched base with the mum just to be doubly sure? Look, he's told us that it's okay for him to sleep over here. He's got no pyjamas with him. He's got no toothbrush. Nothing packed at all. But he said he's going to stay, so we're going to let him stay. Well, should we touch base? All right, that's just the biggest indicator that this is just a total load of bullshit. Second part is, remember they started the story here. She didn't say she saw it. She did laps. And somehow he appeared here. And she stopped right where he was. So what happened between when he left the friend's place and when he got here? What, the friends just let him go? 7-year-old boy off out into the world again? Yeah, he'll be right. But did he sleep in those clothes? This is a total load of bullshit.
Then minutes later, his mum came sprinting over. She hugged, kissed him and told him that he was in a lot of trouble. She also thanked rescue crews. Take a listen.
Mel said she called the police and obviously let him know the details of where she was. But she didn't talk about calling the mum. So we're not sure how the mum found out, but minutes later the mum got there. But surely if the police were still searching for him and the rescue crews were still searching for him, surely certainly the police would want to come to the scene to where he was, because this is now a case. He's missing. We'll need to go there and document where he was and talk to people and take notes and make this a case, make sure he's okay, make sure nothing happened to him. Wasn't with a pedo or something. The cops would be there, but we got to see the cops or just a bunch of these sorts of people wandering around with cameras and microphones talking. So why would you be thanking the rescue crews? They had helicopters, they had all these resources supposedly thrown at it. They couldn't find him. Didn't even think to go asking, you got any friends nearby? We might knock on some doors. They didn't do any of that. They just had helicopters in the sky, resources being tuned up, and a reporter and a woman found him. So what's he thanking them for? This is bullshit.
To everybody, absolutely everybody, thank you so much. People that we don't even know, it's just amazing how...
People she didn't even know were looking for him, and yet somehow people that she does know and that he's staying with, they don't know anything about that he's missing. Didn't think to ring. But yeah, people that she doesn't know. So, and all these rescue crews and all these people searching, where are they? What are they? Are they in this, nearby? Where are they actually searching? If he's here and was found by Mel, who was apparently doing laps of the golf course searching. Well, were they nearby? Are they going to rush over? Is anyone else part of this scene? No, just the camera crew, the mum and the woman. That's it. No police, no other rescue crews. It's all very oddly, what is it, less is more? I think they might be going with the less is more with this one, because they're leaving a lot out and there's a lot missing.
How many people there were, it was crazy. Yeah, people I haven't even spoken to for years. It's just
There is someone else there. There's some guy off camera. What is he, one of the cameramen? I don't know, a director or something. But when she turned her head and didn't seem to know what to say, he kind of, it's almost like she'd forgotten what she wanted to say. But he knew what she wanted to say. It's not scripted. He just tried to help her out. And then she managed to get back on track and to finish her lines. Well, sorry, what she felt inside. He could see what she was feeling inside. And he knew that, men are like that. Men are very intuitive. And he knew how to, knew what she needed to say and helped her along because, wasn't scripted, all right, people? This was not scripted. And she wasn't like she forgot her lines and he was reminding her. Okay.
And he's here. He was at a friend's.
It's that emotional. She had trouble sort of saying that last little bit, that he was at someone's home. She wasn't lying, was she?
So the search has now been called off. Xavier is just down the road here having breakfast with his mum.
Well, that's odd. The generous neighbours that, took him in and, let him sleep the night, they couldn't be bothered giving him breakfast. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Kids are starving by about 6:37. They just didn't think to give up over there out of milk, or he didn't ask for it. They just ate breakfast in front of him and he just didn't eat. Just wanted off. What about the circumstances of him leaving? Like, did they say, oh, you're heading home? Just heading back out into the world, are you, 7-year-old? You rocked up here from out in the world and you just heading back out? You stayed the night? Like some kind of bush ranger out camping somewhere? Just wandering this world, this is what 7-year-olds do. Like, was it the Littlest Hobo, that dog? Used to go from town to town. That's what they thought this kid was doing. Oh, God, what? And after he left, they didn't really he's off he goes. Won't hear any more about this. No one's worried about him.
And 3 siblings, his, safe and well.
Great story, Mel, and well done.
This was an actual true story. No one would be saying to any journalist, well done. They'd be saying, well, did you interview the woman? Well, who was the neighbours? Have you tried to speak to them? What about the police? Have you got a police statement? What are their thoughts on it? Get back out there and finish the story. You can't just come in with this, what is this, less is more? It's all just, there's nothing here. Just you, the kid was in the frame with the mum. You started the story halfway between. You've missed all this stuff out. Go back and finish it. That's what would normally happen if this was a real story. But because it's not a real story, she does deserve a well done. Now, we'll just finish off with, in the second part, they actually bring the police in, but you don't get to see any police.
Mark, 7-year-old Xavier Jones and his mum have just got into a police car. They've gone off to the local station to have a chat to officers and also do some paperwork.
Just told us they got into a police car. Can we see some footage of them getting into the police car? That would have been, if you said that, just to show us, just to, show that it's the police are here and it's a good story and, it's all been solved and they're off to have a chat with police and do some paperwork. Well, hang on. They're going to have a psychologist to make sure that, he wasn't with a pedo and the pedo's told him not to say anything and, are they going to do any kind of hospital analysis of him and make sure he's okay? He's been out overnight. Are they going to interview the friends? Are they going to call them down? No, they're just going to wander up and do some paperwork and have a chat. Yeah, well, I reckon it's Victoria and the police down there. You could not run this kind of bullshit in any other state. Everything like this happens in Victoria. Yeah, they're so bought and sold. So anyway, the cops are on board. They didn't show their faces though. There was some footage in the second story, but it was at night and it was police standing around, so you don't actually see them here. So you don't know whether that footage was from this story or from another story. You don't really know. So that's the end for this one. Now you would think that with the William Tyrrell case, he's gone missing, gone forever, and Daniel Morecambe, he got killed. Any kind of missing child overnight who's 7, you would think. I know teenagers go missing and they can they'll get up to their own devices, but a 7-year-old that every single news agency would be deploying resources to this story, but they don't. they all source it only from Channel 9. So if we go down here, there's 9.com.au, so I've already seen theirs. Video, that's all Channel 9, 9 News. And here it is, missing Glenroy boy found safe and well from The Age. Here we go, Rachel Dexter and Goya. God, how many consonants is that? That's got to be around one vowel and all consonants in that name. So there you go, Channel 9. They've got The Age has just gone with the Channel 9, not committing any resources to it. Vic Police News, okay, they just had missing boy located. So all they've said there is missing boy has been found safe and well. He was at a skate park. Police would like to thank media and public for their assistance. Canberra Times. Okay, so this is, oh, they did run with it. Oh no, sorry, this is the same as The Age story. Oh, so it's also sourced from Channel 9. Okay, so The Age, Canberra Times is tied up with The Age. So it's all from Channel 9. No one has deployed their own resources. It's all come from Channel 9. In fact, ABC News didn't even cover it. That's how onto this story that it was fake that they were. ABC News. Can you find anything on ABC from anything to do with this story? Do they even quote the police? 9MSN? Oh, world's first insulin? No. ABC? No. So ABC didn't even cover it. So that's just further proof that because there was only one news organisation covering it, they covered it, you know, less is more with no details, and it's been shown to be a load of bullshit, then there's been no independent, I guess, peer journalist review of this story. It's all just from the one source, and we saw that it was bullshit. All right, that's it.